Um,
Huh.
3, 2, 1,
He gets
and
up,
welcome to DC.
sets off for the Bastion.
Hey,
Go
Hey,
into trouble.
we're doing it.
Ground forms up under his feet as it points
Timer
away.
did
He
not
don't
crash.
stop to
That's
wonder
good.
why.
that's really good.
Finds his
Oh yeah, you don't
lifelong
see timer.
friend
That's fine actually.
just lying in the road.
I can
Well,
see it on
it's a
stream.
touching
I have both
reunion.
open.
He sees what's left of the Rippling
So this is streams and challenges.
done in an instant.
Compared to
Calamity.
new game, any
Survival.
percent,
No man.
no
Gas
menu
forced out
stacking
on the ground.
is what we call it, right?
I
No
think so,
MMS.
right? No MMS.
Sometimes you just need a drink.
This is a much longer category. This is about,
Around him.
I would say, 1 hour 10 minutes on average.
Yeah,
With-
something like that.
That's with decent leeway of being able to mess up and still make it underneath that.
His famous water.
The start of this run will be very, very similar to the run we did last year, the race.
Then kid finds his
Exact same actually, right?
Exact same for the first
security
Feed level.
takes him for a
4 minutes, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
special delivery.
4.5.
Yes, fellas.
And then we start doing something very much
Turn it up for
out of the ordinary for Bastion speedruns, which is the weapon challenges. Each weapon in the game has a sort of proving ground, a challenge, where you have to master the weapon, so to speak, in order to beat it. And the goal of this run, of the Dreams and Challenges run, is to beat every challenge and get first prize. There's a little prize system, and depending on how good you performed, you get third prize, second prize, or in best case, the first prize. And the goal again is to get first prize with every weapon and the shield.
and it ain't broke.
And in some challenges, the prizes are time-based. Sometimes
Bad
it's
news is they're aiming for the
like
kid.
kill a certain
Right
amount of
back at
enemies.
ya. He finds the
It's
distillery
very different from
right next
each
to the
challenge.
arsenal.
What am I doing actually?
Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits
fine.
in that distillery.
Yeah, the challenges are very much
The arsenals where the
Uh,
kid can pick the best
tailored
for the
to
job.
each weapon. Like, the tasks are super different every time. Like, for instance, with the hammer, you will see later, we just have to clear a lot of rubble and crates and stuff that's in our way, and have to make sure we do it in time. And then, as Kazadan said, sometimes we have to kill enemies in time. Sometimes there are just targets that we have to make sure we hit without missing ones. Stuff like that. You will see. It will make a lot more sense once we've seen the first 1 or 2 challenges. But yeah. Do you want to talk about core duplication then? Or should I do it while you do the dialogue?
Go ahead. I can do dialogue.
Something stranger still.
Okay.
His mind
So, same thing as in the summer race we did last year. Item and core duplication is still very much a thing in this run, because in order to beat the game as fast as possible, we still can duplicate cores at the end of them to make sure we progress faster through the game.
growing stronger. Kids gotta put
And this
And-
to choose what types of levels we need to play, so we can choose the
Exactly.
faster levels and levels that actually open proving grounds and buildings we need to build.
Exactly. Because not every level is unlocked by doing a specific one prior to that. Some levels actually require X amount of cores.
There it is.
So we can kind of sequence break with this. The only thing we need to be careful about when doing that is to not dupe too much. Because if we dupe too much and have all of our cores, then we need to finish the game. We cannot leave the Bastion anymore. So at that point, we need to have every challenge completed. So the routing was really interesting in figuring out how to do that in the best case possible.
And also
To be locked inside the Bastion and have all challenges done.
And then also to move the map as little as possible.
Kid don't know what's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So here we're going
Boat
into
challenge.
the first challenge, yeah. You will see how
I hate-
both tailored this is.
Here for target practice.
Yep.
Used to play a little
I
there you can
dislike
see-
this a
so
lot.
could bust the most targets.
Yeah, same. It's kind of annoying. There's no room for error in this, so actually let me just shut up and let Kazadan do it actually.
And he's off. The perfect
Nice.
shot just happens in a flash.
This is good.
He's feeling real
Perfect.
proud of that
Oh, I didn't do the trick though.
So, yeah, that's not important. Important part is that you got it first try. So the bow challenge, as you saw, he got first prize, which is the condition for this category, obviously, as I've talked about earlier. And doing so in this challenge requires you to get 5 perfect power shots. The power shots only happen very brief moment after charging the bow when the kit lights up for like brief seconds.
Yeah.
Then you have to release the button and then you get the power shot. And you have to get 5 of those in a row. Then you get first prize.
Ain't nothing more helpful.
And this is
And as
the machete challenge. Here we need to kill a certain number of enemies, or like every enemy actually. But they spawn in the middle here, so we can just spawn camp them kind of thing. Kill as many as possible before they move out.
Still others use the place
Before
to
entering
test
this challenge, Kazadan also equipped the item Were Whiskey in the distillery. It was not on accident that he built the distillery specifically in that spot, or right now even to begin with.
like any
So yeah, he has Were Whiskey during this challenge, which makes him crit when he's on low life. And then also it skipped the text, but I will talk more about that later. See, 3 more enemies.
slippery little devil.
Nice, very good.
Wait. did
Oh
they
no,
die?
one more. You did not hit him. Or did
That's
you?
another
no,
one.
yes. Should be still fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Carves through all of them.
Perfect.
Flash.
So as you saw earlier with the bow challenge, Kazadan ignored all the prizes. The prizes, the first prize is always a skill for the weapon of that challenge. Since we don't use the bow, we're not interested in the skill and therefore we didn't pick it up.
Bastion's a place of
Sometimes though,
hold our own.
the other prizes are the items you need to refine weapons. And because we want to refine specific weapons in the end game of this run, we pick and choose when to
Took everybody after all.
actually
He's a plane.
go out of our way to pick up the prize that we just unlocked.
Calamity coming.
Sometimes it happens, like for instance in the machete challenge, you saw him pick something up. That is, if I remember correctly, for the pike.
Yes.
Stop.
Yeah,
What?
okay.
He's got so many questions after all.
So this is Hanging Gardens. Again, very much identical to the thing we did last year.
But
Just
him,
go through as soon as quick as possible.
without that
Nothing groundbreaking
we
here.
wouldn't be here right now. Would we? What do you say to
Speaking
a man
of
who's
ground.
seen too much? Kid,
See?
I didn't fall
this.
at all, actually,
job.
which is pretty interesting. Usually, the ground is
He's a
formed
proper
slower than you
gentleman,
move.
man.
So
His
if you
name is
move
Saul.
too quick at specific
No
places,
height,
you will
he's
fall
a
off the world, and
Folks like
every
him ain't
fall
never been a
costs
sight
like
in
2
life.
point something seconds, 2.5 maybe.
He's
Uh,
relieved to see
Therefore,
the face
our
or two.
movement is
Kid
very
and I introduce ourselves.
specific in the levels to try to avoid falling as much as possible.
For the
Yeah.
first time.
Here we are now building another building, a very specific building. It's the Lost and Found, and it's the building where you can buy things you've missed in the levels so far. So since we skip a lot of things, we still need them, we usually go there, or we do go there and buy the things we need later on.
Yeah. Money management is actually really tight in this as well, but it luckily works out quite nicely for us. So this is the Trapper Shingle. This is the third challenge, the Fang Repeater challenge. How can I not say Fang Repeater? There we go. What you see right there is just Kazadan trying to activate Were Whiskey as soon as possible, which happens after he is below a certain health threshold. And now that Were Whiskey is active, this challenge is actually a joke. You don't need any upgrades. You can even do it without Were Whiskey, but it turns out that at the very last section, which we are approaching right now, the Were Whiskey kit will actually surpass the one that has been doing the challenge without Were Whiskey. About here, where he is right now. So falling at the beginning might not seem super smart, but it's actually a little bit faster and a lot more safe.
Yeah, a lot more safe. I usually failed that challenge like 75% or something. Before we knew about where we ski, or before we realized that it was faster. And now it's 100%.
And as you saw, he did not pick up any prize again either, because nothing of that is interesting for us in the late game. This challenge, just like with the bow challenge, actually quite trolly, because it has not a lot of room for error. Kazadan can get hit twice here in order to still make first place.
3 times actually, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Um,
I mean, that's
well,
not necessarily a lot better, but okay, nice.
took some time there.
But you can see, once you miss your counter, not only do you have taken the first hit and therefore have even less leeway, it just makes it so that everything is so much more out of sync that blocking gets a lot more difficult because there's a lot more to manage on screen. Those guys are trolly as well. And here is the yellow guy. I hate him so much.
Still hit me
See?
through, yeah.
He got the counter. Got the counter and still took a hit. So, yeah. Sometimes that happens with that big yellow guy that dashes towards you. Good. Squirts can be a little bit messy as well. Rarely hit you though. Yellow guy again. Nice.
Didn't hit.
Very good.
That's good. So we were planning on doing this as the 3-man race, is that correct?
The smarter ones
I think so.
just step aside.
Ooh, nice counter there.
Oh, I took 2 minutes
4
force
hits.
damage. Okay.
That's a shame. It's fine.
Quarters
Not
back
too
session
bad.
with the kid.
Usually,
Challenges luckily don't take that long.
yeah, and usually that doesn't happen, I would say.
No,
Not
no,
in-
no.
Not in this challenge. But yeah,
It's mostly again when you get trolled by that one big yellow guy that dashes through you and you get the counter and still get hit. Something you rarely can avoid when it happens, and there's like no way of knowing that it will happen. Good.
but yeah, we were planning on doing this SE 3-man race, as I was saying before, with Leon Mansar as well. Is that correct?
Yep.
Pronunciation, I think so.
Oh, really?
And Leon is the top runner of any percent right now, I think. Any percent
Nice
New
counter.
Game Plus, at least. So the I think the level of the game should be quite high. Like the gameplay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason we are doing this video right now is not necessarily to prove our skill within the game. I think just having run this game last year already, I mean, we're not new to this game at all. But the fact that this category is not even on the leaderboards makes it so that making a little introduction video to this made a lot of sense to us. Let's see if Kazadan can cheese this.
There
Nice,
you go.
very good.
Pulls it off like
And since we need all of them to run, there you go. All of those prizes we are actually picking up. So even if we wanted to be like, oh, I failed this couple times just in order to like have this be an interesting race and keep up, I will not do the first prize, just get the second prize and be done with it. In this case, we couldn't even do it because we absolutely need the money. But yeah, that's not something we would look forward to do either. Just be like, yeah, I'll take the second prize.
And I think that was one of the worst challenges to fail, and we lost 1 minute 50. So having the time where we have it set makes a lot of sense. There shouldn't be too many fails, and it don't take a lot of time.
Yeah.
The estimate.
had to catch a bunch of
As you said, Shield Challenge is definitely one of the worst ones to fail, and it still does not even take that long. Not at all. And you failed it at the very end too. Like imagine it, God forbid, but still it might happen.
Yeah.
Failing it in the middle already, you can instantly go and reset. You don't have to play through it. So here we picked up all 3 prizes again, because this was the musket challenge, and the musket is going to be our weapon of choice for the end game. So we picked up its skill, upgrade material. And the other thing was upgrade material for the bellows, I think.
Yeah. And we will need that to do the bellows challenge. It isn't possible to do without the 2 upgrades, I would say. So
This is where Route of Legends will come in, because I grabbed something from the Lost and Found and not upgrade the bellows, but rather equip a drink like the werewolf.
Folks learn to plant their feet and put their backs into it.
So this is the hammer challenge. Again, a kind of trolly one, but luckily all the trolly ones like shield, bow and hammer are at the very beginning of this run. Kazadan is doing an excellent job with this challenge, holy moly. He actually destroyed this. Good job.
even
I think we have 7 seconds? How much is it?
27, I think?
I think so too. So if he had used 28 or longer, then it would only be second place. Therefore, reset the challenge, do it again. But he did it very, very good. Certainly made up for the shield. But as you saw, the hammer challenge was so much quicker than the shield. Even if he had failed, not a big deal. Again, the thing about this run is we are doing most of these challenges without upgrading the weapons, and some challenges therefore get actually extremely difficult.
Yeah.
So we have to choose them in one way or another, like with the were whiskey you saw earlier.
In the normal game, or in a casual playthrough, you would probably upgrade the weapons 3 to 5 times to do the levels.
I think so.
That fast, or that easy. But since we have
Because
played the
again,
game
you
off-
can't forget, we're not just doing the challenges. We're getting first prize. That's the thing about this.
Getting
Just
first
doing
prize
the challenges wouldn't be
and trying to do it fast.
They trap the kid
Yep.
in the middle of the fort's parade ground.
and with minimal resources.
Nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort.
So this was Cinderbrick. Didn't really talk about it because, again,
Kid shows up
very
just as
much
old, telling me about
similar to what we did last year.
Seems the only thing
Except
the
that we
calamity
picked up
saved
the
was
musket
all
this time because we will need it in the end game.
That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. But there's a way to put it back together. The
Good. He built
shards.
the forge in the top left there, top right, sorry, because again, building order in this run actually matters a little bit. Unlike in new game, no main menu skips.
Storage?
Stacking, storage, exactly. So yeah, that was actually quite fun to figure out as well. Was the building order. Here we're getting the pike, which will be our weapon of melee weapon of choice for the end game. So we got both of these going for us now. By now, we also got the skill earlier from the musket challenge. So in terms of that, we are good to go. We just need to upgrade it at some point. This Rothes Lagoon is again very much identical to a normal one.
Yeah.
So up until now, we have duped everything, every core, right?
Yes.
So after this, we will be doing a Colford Cauldron, which we will dupe again. And then usually in the run that you're familiar with, we would do Bastion Quarry, dupe one last time, and then we would be done with the game. We can't do that right now, because we need to unlock more challenges. There's still more challenges and weapons, and some of those only unlock way after Bastion Quarry. So we will be actually seeing quite a few levels that you usually would not see, which I think makes this run even more interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
We need an awful big lost and found under the surface.
Also, we are now at the part of the game where we are not building buildings anymore, but actually upgrading them and making them better for us,
Everything blew up in the calamity.
and making them have more in stock for us.
Why Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time.
Yeah, it's very important for forge at
They
least.
say it filled the
As
sky.
there right now we can only upgrade 3
As
times.
for us,
It's the limit of the building. But then when we upgrade it, it can
secrets out here.
upgrade weapons
Upgrade
up to
the
5
weapons.
times
Yeah.
instead.
Exactly. So, for example, the Lost and Found now has more stuff in stock for us to pick up because we upgraded it. As Kazadan said, the Forge we will need to upgrade in order to be able to upgrade the weapons a little more later. This distillery we will upgrade because we need a certain drink from there, which we only get like that. Stuff like that.
The heart of
We don't upgrade the arsenal, for example.
laid bare by the calamity. As for the kid,
The only difference in this run compared to the other one in this level is that Kazadan made a little detour to the very right there where he went through some brambles, as you saw,
biggest stink
to pick up a something pointy and dupe that. The something pointy is just like the one in the Machete challenge that we picked up earlier, is the pike upgrading material. And now with having beaten the pike challenge and picked it up there, having beaten the Machete challenge and picked it up there, and now in this level we can now max upgrade the pike, which is extremely useful and strong.
Especially for
Also
the
speeds
dreams.
it up. Yes.
monument's getting better.
Which I guess we could
Sure did a number.
start talking about the dreams.
I mean, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge and all the
But now the new levels are
I
coming.
guess, yeah, go for new
The
levels.
dreams. Yeah. So this is Mount Sand. Do you know anything about Mount Sand as a variety runner of this game?
No.
There's no more
The
mountains.
ground is awful.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
You
the
can't
ground
even
is
see the ground.
absolutely awful. You can't see it because of all the bushes, and
The bastion of their own.
I'm not very used to it still,
Beast right
since
now.
I am
Yeah,
a
same.
pure
Totally.
any percent runner, and this isn't an any percent.
It's either them or us.
But it's a very quick level.
They win too.
Honestly,
Our bastion.
just by the length of it, this would be very much suitable for any percent. But the shard you saw him picking up right there triggered a cutscene. And that trigger makes it so that this shard is impossible to
We'll
dupe.
all be better off once the bastion is complete.
Yeah, and since any percent is doing
Shards can put this disease in
7 levels to get 14 cores, and you need the 14 to win the game, we wouldn't be able to do only that level in any percent. But in this,
Exactly.
it's super good because it unlocks Ursendra Gate faster, which is the level we're doing right now.
shard. It's all we need.
Exactly.
This mess behind us.
And we need to play this to unlock the next level, and the next level to unlock the weapon we need for
Exactly.
the weapon challenge.
We are very lucky that
Idea. We saw
these
solutions far beyond
last story levels work out in such a way that we can dupe most of the run, that we can dupe most of the cores during the run. Again, Mount Sand was the 13th, which he was not able to dupe. And the last we will pick up will be at the level that gives us the last weapon as well. No, never mind. The last will be after we have picked up the last weapon, of course. I misspoke.
Flash. Just
Good
like
job.
that.
Quick
I think
fall
I got
there
it right.
to save some time on the sleeping animation. That would be there
Lucky to
normally.
be alive.
And I did get war whiskey here, so now
That's
I can
super smart.
one shot these scrambles or these things in front.
He sabotaged the
Again, where whiskey activates once he's a certain threshold below
remember
on the HP.
bastion.
You will even get a little pop-up above the kid's head, in case you've noticed that. And then every attack will just be a crit no matter what.
Too bad the Ura ain't exactly.
Crits do double damage in Bastion, I think.
I think so. So here's a little fight scene you have to do
Can't turn back.
in order to unlock the Skyway. Somewhat similar to the Queen Anne fight that we did in Rothes Lagoon, because we don't need to actually do everything
First thing
just
first,
enough so the Skyway
something
opens.
we figured needed rescuing. See ya.
And we were saying that building was done. That's actually not true.
No doubt.
Right now,
I mean, yeah,
We knew ours already.
that's actually right, yeah.
we need to build another building in order to open the Skyway again. so we can
That's
progress
true,
with the
yeah.
game.
Addiction.
In theory, building is done because we're not getting the items anymore, the trigger buildings, which were the cores. We're getting shards now to upgrade. But because the game realizes that there is an open building spot because we have been sequence breaking so much, it forces us to build something before we are actually able to leave again.
Personal for him.
It gets very confused.
Personal for me.
It does.
The calamities
So this is Sultan's Hollow. Again, a level we don't know
that are all what's keeping the place together.
especially a lot about, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
But we do know standard Bastion logic, and therefore we know that walls are optional. So we just roll essentially through everything. Just need to know where to go, and that's after you've done it once, you basically got that.
you say as I fail. But it's fine. Didn't take that much longer.
That's perfectly fine, honestly.
As the hour grows desperate, the era bring out
This is the most difficult one in my opinion, and he got it really nicely. Fun fact here, if one of... there you go, he might die. He might die.
I did heal
Let's
before.
see.
I might be fine.
I can't hear anything right now, so I don't know
Ah,
what is... He died! Oh, let's see if he gets Dark Bastion.
I don't think so, because I need to have... Yeah, I need to have an escape. At
That's a
one
shame.
point.
If you die there during the cutscene, because one of those guys chased you all the way to Zia, to the end of the level, it can happen, then you have to navigate the Bastion blindly, because it's absolutely dark. Luckily for us, we don't have to do any building or upgrading stuff here and just walk straight up to go to the Pike Challenge.
And that's
But
completely
it's
muscle
still
memory.
funny to see. Yeah, exactly.
dangerous job.
So this is the Pike Challenge. We abuse Were Whiskey here because it's pretty damn strong and one-shots all the pincushions. The objective here is not to kill everything, but to press all the switches in time. Should still be fine. You can easily still make it in time if you die here. War Whiskey is just such a huge boost. Just be a little careful now. Go down straight here, exactly.
I did some avoiding 2 pincushions above there, since you have some invulnerability frames when you die.
Yeah, that was really smart.
You can just walk
Second
past.
last.
And here we have a
And
minute,
that's-
so
Yeah,
Between-
exactly. And he died, and he still easily got it. That's the pike. Upgrade material. There we go.
actually another gold split.
The wilds ain't so scary now.
I think this is where I equip life wine now,
I don't know.
The Ura swooped down.
because of this text. Yeah, exactly.
Oh!
So I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but there's overworld text that starts happening once you trigger the Skyway. You're on the map and you're like, okay, I want to travel there, and then the narrator starts talking about what is going on right now in the story, right? And some of that dialogue is actually all of that dialogue, except that one piece right now that you saw there, is skipped by the way we build and equip things, because we forced the narrator to talk about the building or the upgrade or the whatever we equip or do inside the Bastion. We force him to talk about that, and therefore he cannot start talking about what is going on the map, and we are not hindered from traveling. And that one text you saw there is the only one that still blocks us.
But I
from
think we
traveling.
can avoid it. Yeah, I agree.
Learning to hold your flag.
We can...
Challenge.
I've tried. You would need to skip it like 6 times. It's not worth it at that point
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because you always have to do something inside the bash, like go there, do it, do something, have him talk about it, travel. And at some point, going out of your way 6 times just for the text is not worth it anymore.
Here we need
So
to
he's
kill.
doing the pistol challenge, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, you.
Okay. He is in Were Whiskey, obviously. He fell a couple times in order to get this. This one is impossible. I'm 99% sure without Were Whiskey and upgrades. I've never done it.
Through slinger range like it was
I
Yeah.
might be wrong, probably am, but it's super unlikely that you get this without any sort of boost, because you just lack the damage and the kill target
And the accuracy. Yeah.
and the accuracy as well, yeah.
The accuracy for
So
two of the
Were
weapons
Whiskey's
now,
nice there.
right, is random.
Sorry?
The accuracy for both that weapon and for the carbine is random. So sometimes you can.
It's bad. It's definitely bad. So this is the mortar challenge. We unlock the mortar when doing Mount Sand, if my notes serve me correctly.
Yes.
And the mortar is actually a pretty fun weapon. This challenge, in my opinion, is also a pretty fun one. Luckily, it's relatively easy, but Squirt's movement can troll you. You need 82.
80 actually.
80?
80.
What? What?
You actually only need
Free.
80.
Literally free.
And there we have some differences. How it resets the level to get it more consistent.
Yes,
And
I guess I could say that.
I
yeah.
freeballed it, kind of.
I
And
figured out that when you reset the level, you get the same pattern every time, and you can just YOLO it as well as Kazadan just did.
Where
But after
mine-
hearing it's only 80, I mean,
mine is kind of random. Hopefully you get it every time, but don't
Carbine.
lose too much time.
Carbine is a quick challenge, luckily, yeah. Ah, that's a shame. That rarely happens, though. Good.
Oh,
Luck-
that might be.
Luckily, it's not like you need to get 5 power shots in a row as with the bow. It's just quote-unquote, just a timing thing here. Make sure you get it in time and not 20 perfect shots in a row or something like that. But obviously getting perfect shots speeds it up, so ideally you want to get it.
Only got
I think
second
that's
prize.
second place. Yeah.
If you want to master the art of
I'm not gonna say anything anymore about getting first prize, because whenever I did, I was wrong. So
I don't know this first prize actually. Okay, that's a reset.
I think when you miss those without charging, I think you can still go.
Maybe.
Pretty sure. This challenge can be trolly for sure, but in my opinion at least, it's less trolly than bow, hammer, and shield. And as you see, for Kazadan, hammer wasn't even trolly at all, so maybe that is his.
I kind of like the hammer, yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
it's pretty consistent.
I hate it.
It's hit. Thank you.
3 more enemies, no 4, now it's 3. That guy, 2 yellow turrets left. He's in Were Whiskey now, but that does not really matter at all. He one-shots these guys. 32 I think is enough, right?
I think 32
Yeah,
is
perfect.
the time.
Perfect. I think so too. But again, I'm not gonna say anything anymore about that. You're doing the equip section now, I guess?
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So he's in the memorial. He was in the memorial, grabbed some. Those are like pseudo quests, I guess you could say. And when you get the requirement for them, you can cash it in, so to speak, and get the fragments and the money. Then he was in the Lost and Found, bought the weapons there in order for him to be able to upgrade it in the forge. Don't own the weapons, you cannot upgrade them. So he had to buy them or pick them up in the level. But some levels we don't even visit in order to be able to pick them up.
Yeah, and picking up the bellows replaces your melee weapon, actually. So,
Yeah, that was in Call for Colrun. He could have picked up the bellows, but he totally needs the pike.
We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint.
and
So this is
this,
the bellows challenge with upgrades. It's pretty easy.
with upgrades, it's completely free. I can even start rolling back to the beginning instead of using a
Yeah,
kind of TP
and it's
thing
not even
at
up.
the end.
Yeah. What I like to do there is a little bit more greedy,
Teach those peckers
but a little bit more cost efficient as well, if that makes
Who
sense.
knows why we fought so
Money-wise, yeah.
I use the Stab Synth, which is a drink that you can buy in the Lost and Found and then equip in the distillery. And Stab Synth on its own
The Ura
is
probably didn't know they were being watched.
most of the time enough, unless the Packers are really scared of you and literally fly all over the place rates that were there.
Only trouble
Here
was
is
something
the
about the
most RNG based challenge, I would say.
I agree, definitely.
These
It's the
enemies
Calamity
here
Cannon.
start moving on different times, and they also spawn differently. So, since the weapon has an AoE type damage,
in the right direction.
if they all spawn together, you clear the challenge super easy. And if they all spawn separate, then you can actually fail the challenge quite sometimes, even after upgrades.
Oh, definitely.
Whatever gets in her way is in
You-
the world of her.
Yeah, Kazadan upgraded the Calamity Cannon twice. The first upgrade we don't care about too much because we one-shot these guys. I think the first upgrade is a knockback.
Yeah,
But the one we want is the second one, which is charge up speed. So yeah, with that, this challenge gets a whole lot more manageable. It's definitely still possible to fail it, and I don't even want to talk about it, how difficult it is without any upgrade, because it certainly is. And you wouldn't want to fail this challenge. You can see how long this takes. The goal is to have none of these silver constructor things.
Experiment was a rousing
Exactly.
success.
Have none of them destroyed. And if the henchmen that come flying towards you, they don't even need to be hitting them. As long as they're just close enough so that your cannon hit, explosion radius, hits that silver constructor, you destroy it yourself. So there's actually even less leeway than you think. So we are equipping endgame. Pike, musket, and the scrap salvo
Yourself a musket.
in the arsenal, and then the life wine in the distillery. You want to talk about life wine? It's I guess it's your little.
it's my thing, yeah. Lifeline
Yeah.
makes it so if you would die from a single hit by an enemy, you still have a slither of HP, but you're also invulnerable
Wilds could ever
for a tiny bit. So
what's gonna happen.
in the end here, we will be taking some damage from dreams, and we will try to stay at low HP for the Were Whiskey.
The grand
But
rail
since
remained.
dying in the challenges is super bad,
Still
um,
works.
then we use Lifeline to at least try to stay alive for a bit longer.
Dying in the dream.
And with Lifeline we can also always heal after we have taken damage. So if we have these healing
Yeah.
tonics, we can always just heal back to just above or just below Were Whiskey level. So we still have Were Whiskey.
So this is Point Lemaine. Luckily, yet another level that we do not get to see in an any percent run. So hooray for that.
Grand rails all grown up.
This is going to be the last shard, if you remember. The last one, the 13th one, we picked up all the way back in Mount Sand. Ever since, we have not picked up a shard and brought it back to the Bastion. So this is going to be the very last one. And funnily enough, this level also gives us the last dream that we need to complete. Because this is, after all, dreams and challenges. So what are the dreams? See, I was prepared and you want to talk about.
I see. Perfect.
The dreams are
Of course, the grand rail.
long fight segments that you can trigger from inside the Bastion. It's triggered by the smoking pipe, which we got after Cinderbrick Fort, when we also did the already known smoking pipe glitch where we put in 2 cores at the same time, and then it was after Cinderbrick when we traveled to Rothus, if you want to go back and watch that.
That was bad.
The second one, let me actually think, which triggers the second one? Which level?
Isn't Hanging Gardens one of them?
Ever tried
It might
dancing
be.
side to side while holding your breath?
That doesn't
Might
make
very
sense
well
though.
be.
Swamp weed.
No,
don't
it's
think
it's the Urcentra Gate or Sultan's Hollow.
Might be
I
one
think
of
Sultan's
those.
Hollow is why would you do it otherwise?
It ain't fun.
Let's see, I don't have actually written down which level unlocks what. Again, unless that cinder brick unlocks the pipe, because that's knowledge you have from literally every run. But yeah, we have Sia's pot, and we have the bedroll. There are two more items that you get inside the Bastion after completing a certain level that you can interact with,
But then at
and then
last,
trigger
it's
a
the
dream.
end of the line. You'll be picking
This
swamp
one,
weed
I
out of those
think,
pits for days.
is the bedroll.
Turns out he's got company
Maybe.
at
Yeah.
the rail station waiting for him.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing that it works out like that we can have this as the last level, which again locks us inside the Bastion because we have a core.
Says the man.
We cannot travel as long as we have a core or a shard in our inventory. So now we are locked inside the Bastion. If we had to do any more challenges, we would have more or less failed the run by now.
What's a kid to do?
We are absolutely forced
The shard.
to put the last thing in before we could travel again.
That note.
So luckily we did all challenges by now, with only I think one reset in shield. No, we did the carbine twice as well. I think that's pretty good.
I think
Really
it's
good.
okay, yeah.
Just one drag.
And now that we have all three mementos that unlock challenges, dreams, sorry, inside the Bastion, luckily it does not matter that we are locked inside, because now we can just do them one after the other and then put in the last core. This is the pipe, right? I think you triggered the pipe. I was looking, I was
This
reading
was
notes.
the pipe, yeah.
Yeah, that's the pipe. So this is the kid stream then. I suppose you could argue this is the easiest. In my opinion, it is at least.
I definitely for it, yeah.
Rest since all this.
Yeah. The goal of how we routed the dreams is how do we get Were Whiskey the quickest and the safest way.
He's led a hard life.
In terms of the safest way, I think this dream is actually the worst.
For sure, yeah.
But it makes up for not being harder in terms of what is actually going on in the next like 10 minutes. Or 7 minutes, I guess.
I think it's a 7, yeah.
Man, but he had his
But here we just try to kill everything as fast as possible. It's wave-based enemies, so when you clear one wave, you start the next,
having his mama's
and
Exactly.
we need, it will say here how many more,
his own out there.
very soon, 16 more. And then we are done with Kid Stream.
School ain't working out.
So I think you can see that upgrading the weapons
Make his
is
mama some money.
getting more and more worth it as we go through the dreams. Like, Kazadan just said that
Folks like the kid, the wall,
killing these things faster makes the next wave spawn faster.
the elements,
So this is,
the around.
in a way, an auto-scroller, but you being that strong and knowing kind of when to be where on the map actually speeds this up quite a bit.
He hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
There are, luckily in this stream, not too many waves that get dangerous, because most of it is being one-shot. Like this guy
Right, this guy
survives, but
spawned-
his wind-up
spawned
animation.
here.
Holy moly, where did he spawn?
I've never seen that before.
Same.
Sending all those nowhere to be found. Neither.
Never happened before, even in submission.
So what? The
Alright,
kid
all the money we get here, at least I don't think you will upgrade anything anymore, or will you?
I use it, yeah. I
You
use
use
the
it,
money
okay.
to get
The mortar
the mortar
upgrades.
upgraded, yeah.
in the history of
Yeah, okay, I see.
And
So
they
Kazadan gets mortar upgrades.
Also forgot to upgrade the last part of the musket. So I think I will upgrade that later. Now
Yeah.
it deals more damage close since it's a shotgun weapon, but you can get an upgrade which makes it so it deals the same amount of damage everywhere. And if I did have that, I could shoot these boxes instead of pike them, which is a tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
In time, the kid earned good standing
But I guess it's
promotion.
only faster for
They
this
trusted
level,
him, this
so
guy,
I
farther
probably
than
won't do
anybody.
that this time. Upgrade it this time.
But yeah, the money you get here, you get quite a bit actually.
What was that saying?
That's alright, we have 2 lives luckily. Now, that's actually pretty interesting in a race scenario, which is obviously what we are going for. If someone dies in a dream,
Beneath them shuddered.
setting up War Whiskey a second time and risk dying a second time is actually quite dangerous.
Yeah,
So
If I
that
was-
might be super interesting.
if we were super far ahead, I probably wouldn't even settle with Where Whiskey here again. Like if you failed
Yeah.
a couple of challenges, just because the risk factor is kind of big, I guess.
Kazadan was lucky though that the moment he needed to, he died and needs to set up Were Whiskey, those big slimy guys spawned, and the stuff they leave on the ground is basically perfect to set up Were Whiskey because you can stop at the exact amount where where your health is the highest while still being in Were Whiskey. So Kazadan, I think, is in good shape here.
I am in very good shape here for sure.
Through twisted streets.
There shouldn't be any enemies in this specific dream that is any problems.
Yeah, that's true.
Only reason why the life wind didn't trigger was that those specific types of enemies deal so little damage, so the life wind doesn't realize that you're getting attacked, kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Will it finally arrive?
it only
Oh,
works for
oh, that's
bigger
interesting.
hits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw you got hit by the flames. That makes sense. Uh-huh.
But if I get life wine triggered the next level, which is the one I think it's the most useful for, then it will be more apparent why it's good.
So when I'm looking at your splits, the next one you're doing is Zia stream then.
yeah.
So that is the pot.
What order
I
do you
think.
do them?
Yeah, it's the pot.
Is it the same?
I do bedroll pipe pot. So I do Zulf, Kit, and then Zia.
Okay. We might change the order of
Oh yeah,
this, as it kind of doesn't matter.
I suppose it's personal preference.
Yeah. And just to make the race more
I'd like to say I'll never
easy to follow.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But then again, if you're doing different dreams and you just count along, okay, they're both in a different but last dream,
I guess.
that might be cool as well. But yeah, we're done with the first one, not too bad at all. Were Whiskey and weapon upgrades definitely coming in strong there. And now we are approaching bedroll and pot. In this case, it's pot first, which is Zia's dream.
You wolfs down too much too fast.
And this one should be about 6 minutes long, I think.
Zia's stream, in my opinion, is the most,
I've said a lot about the kid.
how should I say?
The only one wrapped up.
Deadliest one? No?
You think so?
I
I
don't
think
so.
Zulf is more annoying.
Yeah, I think Sylph is more annoying.
I think Zia is like the most. How do I put it?
What's he thinking?
Not most difficult, but most
I only heard of
dangerous while still being the most fun, if that makes sense. Like when you die in Zulf, I just feel like, okay, what should I have done in that moment? That guy just spawned underneath me and I died, I couldn't do anything. In this dream, I'm like, okay, if I die,
but she wasn't born.
the challenge was too much, I guess, right?
She was from Ceylon.
Sure.
So setting up Were Whiskey in this dream, we have a very good setup for this, is falling once and then getting hit by 3 stink eyes, which are the green spiky dudes that you saw in the beginning. So that is very good. Again, in the kid stream, which we just did, it's a lot more risky to set up Were Whiskey, because we used the red spinning guys at the very beginning, and gauging their damage is kind of difficult.
That city with no one but her father.
And here we are at the perfect amount of HP as well.
Yeah.
From just getting hit by those.
Her father was sharper than
We also use the special skill a lot more here.
city's man.
It's the one.
I agree. I think you used it once only in Kid's Stream, right?
Yeah. There we see Lifewine. Oh, and they got
Train of thought.
shot by this guy at the same time.
That's unfortunate.
Father told her nothing of her early
Um,
heritage. He told her nothing.
But yeah, the special skill is very useful for killing the small peckers, the flying things in here, because they have low HP.
Just in general,
Yards,
yeah, just in general, it's really good if you need to cover a wide
strings, and
area of the screen in not a lot of damage, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Nice, that's a good amount for Rare Whiskey. But you can't forget that this is actually his last life again, so
be like a girl.
it's time to clench our butts.
no pressure.
Trader selling out the city.
If you really wanted to, you could just take it safe, honestly.
Yeah,
But
take a heal.
whatever happens,
Young
happens.
man stood up for her, or so we led her to believe.
What we can talk about is what more we are planning to do. Submit. Or are we doing that in a different video?
The young man
The 2-player 1 controller?
to her family den to meet her father.
Hint?
Spoke of
No?
how he wanted to meet him.
What? I was so confused by gameplay. Not confused, I mean immersed in your gameplay. I wasn't really paying attention. I always get super tense when I see Queen Anne.
We could
She
talk
tends to get
about
me.
the other
When the young
things
man
we are going
greeted
to
her father
submit
in the
for
earth's
Bastion.
native language,
Sure. I hope I don't forget anything because I don't know. I probably don't know every possible plan that we have. But something we can, I personally can definitely talk about
the young man
is
told
we
her
are
that
thinking
her native
about
language is not
a 2-player 1 controller new game. Any percent no main menu duplication stacking thing? Yeah.
It was then
So
that she
basically
decided
the
to
race that we did
the two of them
last
could
year,
flee the city together and go to the Tesla terminal.
But 2-player 1 controller.
but we are on the same computer and one of us is doing mouse and the other one is doing keyboard,
They would hide inside a
which
garbage bin
luckily
ingested by a scumbag,
we can already
then let him
safely
fly
say
out of the city for the
it is not going to be a disaster because last year in the practice room we did that already and our PB is sub 14, I think.
Yeah, we did beat some
But the
some
authorities
top
were already
level
there when the
Yeah.
passive
scumbag
players.
sidled up to the city wall.
We were
It's really
definitely sub 14. I think it's like 1352 or
58.
something. Very well possible, but it's in no way, shape, or form
The young
ever
man
going
sent
to
the
be bad,
authorities
I
a
think.
tip,
I don't think so.
told
No.
her her father was using
There
it
isn't
So that's
too
something
much
else we are
to
looking forward to.
fail either.
But the
She and her father were arrested for
negative aspect of that would be obviously to just show the same thing.
The same
It
route.
essentially has not changed at all. 2 years in a row, just in a different
Setting.
mode, I guess. Yeah.
before they parted ways for the last time.
So this
Her father whispered
Dreams and Challenges run to me is a lot more exciting because there was so much routing going in there, trying to figure out how to do the things best way possible. What upgrades do we need? Do we need them or are they just comforting to us? Stuff like that. And yeah,
she
we
did
are,
as she was told.
in terms of showing off the game,
Inside that
a
den,
whole lot more better off with this run. Especially if you look at it from a casual standpoint, you're probably very much familiar with the difficulty of the challenges and the dreams. And then doing these things with minimal requirements in a speedy amount of time is
She saw the calamity.
quite alright, I guess. Reflection complete. There you go. Good job.
Good
You are
job.
definitely making it very interesting
Kid wakes
and
up,
nerve-wracking.
his world still in pieces, just the way he left it. The man searched,
So for Soul Stream,
even if it cost him the lost
Kazadan is preparing the mortar, which we got from
Oops, moved the window.
Mount Sand. That's the weapon where he had to kill not 82, but 80 squirts in that arena. And he's using this in that level here, in that dream, because there are quite a few waves with monsters that duck on the ground, and the mortar is able to still hit them. However, the mortar renders him unable to move, and those exact monsters that bury underground are chucking like stones on you. So if you don't move, damage can rack up quite quickly. So this might get very interesting. I'm looking forward to this. Also, Were Whiskey, setting up Were Whiskey with the mortar is pretty amazing.
Pretty free. I love it.
And boom, we're on Were Whiskey. 4
Okay.
shots.
We're
Can you
on-
crit yourself actually?
I cannot crit myself.
That's amazing. So you could on accident.
Wait,
actually
I can
take
crit
one.
myself, but I have lifeline, so it's fine.
Oh, I see. But yeah, as you can see, when it gets hectic and you start chugging around mortar shots, you need to make sure you don't roll into them yourself on accident while trying to dodge something. So that's why I personally am not using the mortar, but I can totally see its advantages here on this map specifically.
And I will probably roll into some shots later on. But since I have lifeline and there is usually a lot of healing potions just laying around from us not needing them, then I will be able to heal.
So wait, which skill have you equipped now that you don't have to scrap salvos?
I have the bomb seal. Looks like this.
Oh, I see. Is that unlocked from the mortar or did you buy it?
It's unlocked from the mortar challenge.
I see. Okay, I did not mention that because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
It's super useful for the big wave with the small guys. You just shoot those types of shots instead of normal shots.
I just figured something out which I could certainly explain or just point out. As long as you have max amount of health tonics, which is 3 in this case, you could increase it. But in this case it's just 3. Whenever you pick up a health tonic, instead of replenishing just the count in the bottom or just not counting at all, as you saw right there, it immediately fills up his health without him needing to do anything. So if he accidentally rolls on top of a health tonic while having maximum health tonics himself already, he loses Were Whiskey. Which can be bad.
Which can be
Leave it
very
around.
bad, yeah.
Zolf started teaching the missionaries wisdom.
Usually if I
With black tonics it doesn't matter.
get one of these, I start triggering mortar shots on myself.
Oof.
Should I heal? Okay, we have lifeline.
Lifeline trigger, I think you should heal.
He advocated
Lifeline trigger was actually intentional. It deals the crit
So now
on the
if-
big guy.
He believed the city had much
So now if you would pick up the health tonic, just to
Oh yeah,
explain it one more time, he will not get health because he was missing 1 health tonic initially in order to be maxed out. And the black tonics, of course, are the ones needed for the secret skill. But we haven't been spamming them as much, so it's not that important.
However, Zolf felt he could only do so
And-
But if we really wanted to, we could spam them a lot. As you can see, there are like, what, 7 black tonics there? And he has another 3 in his inventory, and I'm sure he rolled over a couple of them just by
Yeah.
dodging
decided to
stuff.
do what the
So
missionary did.
you can really spam secret skills here if you want
The
to.
city of his youth to brave a savage land.
which we will very much see very soon.
So what is difficult about this dream then, in
This-
your opinion?
In this dream, it's mostly hitting these guys underground and finding the enemies.
The journey was hard.
That's true, actually.
The
This
area is
definitely
very
the
big.
biggest area.
And then
Mhm.
at last,
So
Zolf saw the rippling walls on the horizon.
having the mortar as only just a zoom out is pretty good.
I agree, actually. That's pretty cool.
But
I think something on top left
He
spawned.
endeared himself to
No
city
level.
folk straight away. And
Just
in
Just saw some.
mortar shot.
Oh, well, it's probably just an explosion. Yeah.
in particular.
So those guys, the little ones that are underground, those are the actual threats in this, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
if you don't die to them, it just takes so much time because you roll to them and then they just dug underground, and then you roll to the other one because you think, might as well try someone else.
This young lady
Then that
was
guy ducks
fascinated by
underground.
Europe, but she never met
And
anyone
they're
named
just
Dolph. She
ever
told me
trolling
all
you.
the city's best kept secrets.
I don't have whiskey.
So the later reflections here, all those Uras, I think they are. There should be Uras,
Yeah,
right?
there's.
They're Uras. Yeah,
Hand
those
guard was their
humanoid
It was there that Zolf clasped her
enemies with the crossbow and the machete and stuff like that, and the pale skin. Those actually get extremely tanky, and as you see, they're charging up like super low. So if you don't have Werewolf killing them in time before they're done with charging up, it's actually super difficult. So
And can
not
dangerous.
having a Werewolf in those last reflections, you see how tanky he is even with Werewolf. Kazatan would get hit here, he would be done. He died once already.
built like
I
an
think that guy
So-
kills me there, even.
something was wrong.
Like, the amount
Yeah.
of damage is super high.
Oh, totally.
But
Those
I-
guys are super dangerous.
I did go for a block. Since we still do have the shield, can block stuff.
Yeah, the shield is something you just always have.
Turned out okay.
That was really good.
He emerged
5 more reflections, I think.
into a
I think so.
nightmare.
I'm not keeping count.
Watch out for... Is the stink eye reflection
Three.
still coming?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's 3.
stink arrow reflection.
I think you should heal, just to be safe. Or are you going for it?
You do have a short.
Do you have life might still?
I do have life wine, yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. So the thing with this is, I kind of mentioned it earlier when talking about it in the Stinger stream. Those guys can literally spawn underneath you. You do not see them. They explode in your face, and when you're in very risky range, aka on low HP,
What
you
few
will
die.
die. And this is not fun.
gray and
Since I have life wine, I do get to heal in between. It's only if they would spawn 2 under me at the same time where I would die. The chance of that happening is not very big. I don't think it has ever happened.
you
Not
found
sure
a
they
wild
can
bee
actually.
asleep inside her home.
Is this the last one?
Reached out
This should be the last one, yeah.
joined with all the
Yeah, I
answers
think so too.
Right now. This guy.
Nice. The last one is not too hectic, luckily.
There's one strong enemy, I think. One of the tankier ones. Whoop. And the last enemy, I think. This guy's tankier. Oh,
turned away.
not the
Life wine coming in very clutch there. You see Kazadan leveled up at the very end there, which is more or less on purpose, I want to
It's
say.
also intentional, yeah. I don't pick up some
Because
stuff I did
leveling up-
before.
Because leveling up full heals you. So having it at the very end there is perfect. And now, remember, we picked up in Point Lemaine the last shard.
Now,
We put it in here.
there's something I
Bastion is
want you to
finished.
see.
14 challenges are finished, if there are 14.
I think there are not 14.
My number game was not on point all of this.
I think 9. I'm not
During
sure.
all of this, 14 seems a whole lot. It's not
I ain't
14.
one for long goodbyes.
Where do I have 14 from? Whatever.
14.
And we have the 3. I can count to 3. The 3 dreams.
You get to do the honors.
We have done the 3
This
dreams,
thing, if you got
which
questions.
makes it so that we
Hey,
fulfilled everything we need in this run. And that's time.
And that's